Welcome to the Positive Change Methods podcast with me, Andy Smith. Each episode will bring you tips, practical change formats, and new perspectives to make your life and work better right now, drawn from Appreciative Inquiry and related approaches. This episode is brought to you by the Practical Appreciative Inquiry Facilitator Training. Let me show you how to get started using Appreciative Inquiry confidently with teams and small groups. The next live online course starts soon. You can find the details and how to book your place at coachingleaders.co.uk. Okay, let's get started. Episode 17. A business-friendly appreciative interview format. How best to describe the concept of appreciative interviews? We could say that they're conversations about how things are now and how we'd like them to improve, but structured in a way that counteracts the human brain's natural tendency to focus more on negatives and threats. So how can we best word the interview questions to achieve this aim? You'll see many different question formats for appreciative interviews in books and articles about appreciative inquiry. All the formats that I've seen start with some variation on asking the interviewee for a story about a great experience that they've had related to the topic of the inquiry. This is understandable because stories are how we human beings make sense of things. The subsequent questions in the interview vary a bit according to which book you read. What follows is the format that I find works best in a business context. It helps to identify the conditions that enable success, as well as inviting the interviewee to activate their empathic network and building trust between participants. In this example, I'm using a fairly generic question that we might use as a warm-up at the start of a meeting or facilitated process. Question 1. What has been your best experience of your professional life? A time when you felt most alive, most engaged, and proud of yourself and your work. When we're inquiring into what's working in relation to a particular topic, we could tailor the question to the topic. For example, what's been one of your best experiences of a team working together effectively? Or, tell me about a time when your team faced a challenge and emerged stronger from it. Question 2. The second question looks for what the interviewee finds significant about their story, either at the time or looking back on it now. What's really important about this experience? What do you value most about it? This will give you some, at least, of their values. Values are what motivate us, and they're also our criteria for deciding what's right and what's wrong. If you're leading a team, it's definitely worth knowing what motivates each of your team members. By focusing on what's important about their story of success, the interviewee starts generalizing out from the specific experience to the wider significance, to themselves, to their work, and perhaps to the organization as a whole. There's also some evidence that connecting with your values helps to make you more resilient. So it's a useful question on that level too. Question 3. What made this experience possible? Was it culture, leadership, structures, systems, or what? Appreciative interviews aren't just about getting people to feel good. With this question, they're also an effective way to identify the conditions that allow success to happen. The question has the potential to uncover preconditions for success, best practice, and useful how-tos that could lead to a general improvement in performance if they were more widely implemented. If we identify the enabling conditions for success and put them in place more widely, we will probably see peak performance happening more often. When I'm asking this question, and particularly if I'm crafting appreciative interview questions for people who haven't experienced appreciative inquiry before, I usually give a few examples of what I mean by enabling conditions, as in the example question above. Question 4. The final question of the interview is a bridge to the future, sowing the seeds for the next stage of appreciative inquiry, the dream vision of a desired future. If you had one wish for yourself, your team, or your organization, what would it be? Of course, you could go for the traditional 3 wishes instead. Either way, this question links the discovery stage to the dream stage that will follow by starting to uncover aspirations for the future. The answers you get to this question will be richer and more imaginative as a result of the psychological priming and direction of attention towards resources accomplished by the first 3 questions. You've probably already spotted that this question is also a neat way of handling any unhappiness with the way things are currently. Whatever the person may be unhappy about, this question gives them the opportunity to talk about what they want to change, not by complaining about the problems they face, which will make them feel more negative and helpless the more they talk about them, but about what they want instead of those problems. Next time, 3 ways you can use appreciative interviews to identify conditions for success. Thanks for listening to the Positive Change Methods podcast with me, Andy Smith. You can find the show notes at positivechangemethods.com. Please like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you like this episode, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you can review it. See you next time.